What up, guys? I'm back with another video. We're in the second episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. Guess it took a while, but guess it took a entire day, a couple hours after it was released to be unsubbed because it's not officially subbed, sadly. I don't know why. Like, it's not dubbed yet. I don't know why Crunchyroll doesn't pick the series up for sub release like they did with Bleakior. Because the Japanese, but then again, maybe it's because the dub is well known in the West for being a kid anime. But why would the people? But kids don't use Crunchyroll, do they? Only anime fans use that. So anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, as I said, I'm on episode 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, and I really enjoyed this episode. Introduces another character who, and some weird thing you were going to question about, but for now don't. So anyway, about 2, let's start with you. So the episode starts out with UDS looking at something. Well, actually, no, that starts out with an opening narration talking about UDS on his motivation of coming to Earth and stuff. Then after that, we cut to the UTS headquarters. And we see UDS outside, and Yuhi confronts him not to look at his cars outside. And that's where we cut to the opening. He gets up and apologizes, by the way. I really like UDS so far. He's just good. I like how he could be a combination of like all this like the two series protagonists of Yu-Gi-Oh, Yusei and Saku, and also the comedic characters too. I like that, giving them, giving them a combined edge. And again, the Tamara is also kind of serious, but also has a goofy moments. So I like how they could do that, blend in without ruining the seriousness. They found a way to make it funny, just not understanding of culture. It's clever. We can see his serious side. It also be funny when he's not trying to be. It's cool. Anyway, after that, we cut to. By the way, yes, I forgot to mention actually. We got the opening. You can find it on YouTube. It's pretty catchy actually. It's a very catchy one. So yeah. Something that's been bugging me a bit is the new dual discs. Like, I wish UDS would be the one who uses the blue one instead of the red, the old one. Like, it would make much more sense because he's an alien, right? Of course, he have a different dual disc. Like, he could, but well, that's just my little nitpick. But yeah. Anyway, we cut. We see someone watching a video of Yuhi and Yuamu entering Yu's spaceship from the last episode. So, you know, there's an insight on stuff. That the company they own wasn't handed to them from their parents. We also learn about the father was the president actually, but he still remains mysterious. We do not know who the father is, if it's who we think it might be, or could be or just could be the son to, like the father could be the son of Yuga, or Yuga could be the father. I do not know. We do not know yet. This is literally the second episode, so it'll take us a long time for us to find out. But I hope we get to see more of the classic characters return. So anyway, this mysterious guy plans to pay them a visit. Meanwhile, well, the, our, tr- our trio, the trio head out to, doing the same mission as yesterday. I did her cat, but it's not the same. So yeah, after the cat, after you help, after Julius catches the cat, provides some mysterious drone with the voices of these people in it. At least I thought it was a drone. So it'll be later on. I'll get that a little bit later. It was a good moment too. I can't help but chuckle at that. It's really funny. Anyway, um, yeah. I do seem to go. I want to point out that it's not the same cat. It's a different cat, which will be obvious to anyone who literally saw the cat last episode. That leads us to thinking, actually. Okay, so later. Anyway, after that, the return, greeted by a familiar face we watched Severance. I think his name was Tanaka. Really terrible to remember names. I'm sorry. Basically, the guy from the Machine Cavalry Duel Club. You know, the guy who says he's an elementary schooler, but he looks older than that. You know, the guy who runs in those Scalos too. He's a likable character. They work for the company, the elderly. See some more familiar faces. He's the only one who speaks so far the episode. But it's nice to see him again. He's likable. I mean, a brilliant duel in the final arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Yeah, a really good duel. I already talked about that in my review on that episode on the final arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. So go check that review out. I do the entire review on all the 7 arcs of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, was Matt. This is very fun about the president and stuff. You guys, I kind of asked what the been, what Yuhi's devices, but Tanaka tells him they don't exactly know. That kind of makes him sweet. I'm not sure if Yuhi knows it either, actually, because somewhat years ago. I do like Udius as a character, as I said. He's fun. I like his design. The first alien Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist ever. you know, I'd actually like to see sorry, a Shonen Jump series set in space. Do all kinds of battles about space. That'd be interesting. I'd like to see that idea, in Shonen Jump. And Dragon Ball already technically did that, but it was rarely done. Anyway, sorry, I keep getting distracted. Anyway, he informs them they have a client. Tanaka, I think. I'm just going to call him Tanaka for now. Tanaka, so yeah. The guy definitely looks like the guy had purple hair and glasses and sounds like Gakuto, but it's not Gakuto, obviously. Actually, I'm not sure that he's played by the same actor or not. I actually have to look it up. I actually did write the names down, actually. Natsuki Hanai. That's who played Gakuto in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7, so I'm gonna have to look him up after this. Just to check if he is in Go Rush or not. So, uh, he asked them to help them find his lost dog. Yano's actually is a really smart and observant character. She's really cool, and she's a bit conniving. She's basically the foil to Yuhi. The twins and the opposites, but they work well together. Well, really, I'd like to see Yu-Gi-Oh! Integrate a female protagonist. That'd be different, you know? We've always been having male protagonists. Do what JoJo did. They introduced a female protagonist in part 6. So why not do the same next in a few years? Because it'd be different and more relatable. And don't say Shannon just make the blaze. So of course they went feature girls. But look at JoJo, for God's sake. Again, most of the main characters were female, for God's sake. There weren't that many male characters. And most of the stand users they bought were female. So why don't they do that? It'd be an interesting idea. Like a female shonen protagonist. Shonen Jump should not just. I mean, it could be marketed towards both genders, you know? Shonen like me minds. Or do a separate or do a separate one called Shoujo Jump. Where they do mangas for girls. Action manga for girls. Like publish magical girl mangas, you know, all that type of stuff. Alright, check it again. You know, as I said, you're almost observant. And she quickly questions him, saying that, you know, she's smart. She knows he never had a dog because he had cat hair on him. Yeah? And I can't remember the other reason. She also tells Udius to run because she knows something about him. The guy has a weird thing saying, having cat words of him when he says some reason. Don't ask me why. I have no clue. Anyway, he reveals himself to be so. I wonder who does look a bit like Gakuto. Now, he does reveal his name doing do a little bit later. But I'm gonna say it now for easier reasons. His name is Manabu Sogetsu. Or Manaba. I mean Manaba. Shit. Manabu. I'm just gonna say Manabu. Sogetsu Manabu. So he's definitely related to Gakuto by the name Sogetsu, but did not inherit Sugetsu style, which is odd. Because that's been Gakuto's thing, the Sugetsu style of dueling. So surprised he didn't inherit that if he's obviously related to Gakuto, who I don't see is a likable character. I love Gakuto. I actually don't know which character was my favorite in Sevens. I have to pick up that one. I love the sections. So anyway, so they brings himself and tells him he's part of special corporation. And, you know, they hunt they hunt aliens and stuff. He also had, also has a cat with him, the same cat from the last episode, who somehow could talk. Yuhi was obviously shocked, and I was caught off by that too. No one expected a talking cat. I mean, I know Yu-Gi-Oh has gone through crazy shit in the past, but a talking animal. Have you ever seen that before? Not in any cards either. I mean, actual talking animals. I like to find that's kind of sets up a mystery. Also, he also has some conversations and cards he found because they have some traces of alien on them. Yui's mind quickly goes back to what happened earlier. Thinking it was Udius's cards, but they're actually Yuhi's. And the dickhead's confiscating his deck. I don't know how they have any traces on them, but still. Anyway, Yulia shows up to help out, actually. Explain the situation. What happened earlier? After that, he gives him pointers on what's going for Udius. You know? Which is a really cool thing, by the way. You know, so it's partially his fault. On the deck's there. Also done. They challenge him to. Oyama's could help Oyama. They challenge him to a rush duel. He doesn't agree at first, but these conditions. Now, but not mention, his company is one of for identifying alien threats. If they're a threat, they're deported. If not, they can stay on Earth but be supervised by the company. I really should remember. It's still early, but I'm sure I'll remember their names in the future. Help. So yeah. But agrees to the duel. The conditions is if he wins, Udius goes with him. You take Udius. But if they win, Udius can stay and also get Yuhi's deck back. It's never clarified if they did get his deck back or not after the duel. Probably he did. He just didn't mention it. So anyway. Also, they have the company has 80 million people. 80 million people around the building. They secure it, and they're not that many, and there are a few elderly there. So, Yudi decides to take on Manabu. Sorry, it's gonna be tricky to remember his name. The duel begins, and Yudi learns about effect monsters. So yeah, I'm not gonna give any details, but like the show gives you explanation on, giving us giving some explanation on the how to do and stuff and rush duels but also new to the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. This feels like a fresh start for the series. Sevens didn't have that much to do, but so right. Anyway, so. And the end, Udius is already sent down to 2,800 life points just on the first turn. So basically, Manabu's style is using effect monsters that deal damage, at least so far as we know. We've only seen 2 types of monsters do that. So yeah. Anyway, Udius managed to summon his 3 monsters. One of us is Ace. He learns about tribute summoning. Because Manabu tribute summon a monster and it deals some damage to Udius. Yeah. After Udius' chore, he calls back to his time on the planet, where a comrade, similarly someone who was already being part of the promotion announced, a character thanks to scans and stuff, who will appear sometime in the future. We do not know when, but so. Isaran sacrifices himself to help Yuhi. And Yuhi's unwilling to sacrifice his monsters to tribute summon. But in a surprising turn, Manabu just helps Yuhi out with a duel a bit. Saying that they're not sacrificing themselves, it's like they're giving him a chance to win the battle and stuff. After that, Yudius tributes summon his new card, a dragon type monster. A dragon monster. And wins the duel. as per the agreement, he'll back off for now. He almost says that he's lucky that he lost. Anyways, they are the because well, that drone that bit I thought was a drone earlier turns out to be Udius's ship. I'm not joking. It is Udius's ship. There were 88.8 million people on board. Or was it 8.88 million? I can't remember the exact terms, but I know it's that point. It's a funny moment, and the two, Manabu and the cat get scared off and run. It's a funny moment. But Eunice is happy that he learned some new things about Rush Dueling. He's going to continue learning. And next episode, we're going to be seeing Yuamu duel, Earth-style dueling. Yuhi may have lost his first duel, but we didn't get to see much of his techniques. We'll get to see him duel again in the future. Probably soon, in a couple of weeks, or 2 weeks, who knows. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoy my content, hit the thumbs up button. Want to see more, subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. I'll update all the videos that comes out in the future. Tomorrow I'll be doing Shaman King, then another Shaman King review. And by the time that happens, I'll be completing Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga and review on my Lego game channel. So subscribe to that if you want to see that review. Seriously, because I got a lot to talk about with that game. I just completed episode 6 too. So yeah. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time for another Yu-Gi-Oh review. And Rush the Duel. Yeah, I can't wait to review more Yu-Gi-Oh Go Rush. This is called Yu-Gi-Oh 7 has lasted 3 years, but it went for the COVID. It might have lasted 2, which is 1 year less than prior seasons, I think. Yeah, as I know, prior seasons lasted longer than that, depending on how many seasons they have in the West. Like, say, season 1 through 3 of, like, Zexo, Arc 5, and Brains. The only series that have 3 seasons, whereas all 7s had 2 seasons. So yes, and GX and 5Ds also have 3 seasons, actually. So, but Duel Monsters is the only series that have 5 seasons. The only one. So, thank you guys. I'll see you all next time. So, Phoenix out.